Hey guys, Kev here, and I just want to take a brief moment to talk about what I call the circle of knife. So, it's basically a play on The Lion King, where Mufasa tells Simba about the circle of life. And I wish I could do a James Earl Jones impression, but I can't. And essentially, if you don't know, the circle of life is how the ecosystem balances itself, right? The lions eat the gazelle or the whatever, zebras or the, whatever it is, water buffalo. I don't know what they eat. And, they leave the leftover remnants kind of dissolve into the ground, or the hyenas get the scraps, and then the smaller animals get the scraps from that. That falls into the ground. It fertilizes the ground. Their bones and everything fertilize the ground, right? That feeds the insects and the grass, and the circle of life. God damn it! I know that was a terrible explanation, but you get my point, right? Basically, the fact that the whole animal ecosystem is a symbiotic relationship of some sort, right? And to take that and apply it and call it the circle of knife, what I mean is I can't keep every knife I buy. And I get a lot of questions from you guys, and rightfully so, when I sell knives, right? Because I'll tell you I sold this, or I'll post that I'm selling this, or whatever. I get a lot of comments like, oh, I thought you said it was the greatest knife ever, or thought you loved that knife, or, oh, man, I might not get one now because you're selling it. It must suck, right? And I hate that, because what you need to base my thoughts on, right, my impressions, my thought process on a knife is on the videos, right? I post an unboxing that tells you exactly how I feel about the knife out of the box, right? That's why I put a lot of stake in unboxings, because it gives you a real raw reaction. And then I might post a disassembly or a first impressions. Sometimes I don't, but I might do that where now I'm taking it apart. I'm giving impressions on the build and whatever, or I'm just giving kind of a follow-up impressions of the knife, right? Now that I've had it for X amount of time. And then I will do an overview of a knife, right? Now, this doesn't always happen. There's cases where I unbox it and it's gone right away. Well, you can understand why, right? If it's gone right away, it's probably something that wasn't my style. Doesn't mean it's not a good knife, but that's not what we're talking about here. So I'll do a overview, and I'll tell you exactly what I think about this knife. If I say I love the knife, it's fantastic, it's the greatest knife ever, that's how I feel about the knife while I'm reviewing the knife, okay? But after that happens, that knife has now been reviewed. That knife goes in my knife case, boom, right? And I can't carry it anymore. It's very rare that I carry my own knives long, right? I carry it for an X amount of time for the review. It might be a week, might be 2, might be a month sometimes. Sometimes it's a day. It just depends on how long it takes me to get a grasp on the knife, right? So then it goes into my collection. If it's a knife I bought, right? If it's a loaner, then obviously I send it back. If it's a knife that was given to me by a company, most of the times it gets added to a pass around or given away to you guys or whatever. But the knives that stay in my collection, like the Evo here, or a great example of something is right now I'm carrying my Vero Engineering Lefty Synapse. And more knives come in. I buy more knives, okay? I get more knives in for review from other people, right? They're given to me, or they're just loaned in, whatever it is. I'm constantly having a flow, a cycle of knives that are coming in. And it makes it very, very hard for me to carry a knife from my collection. Now, I carry 2 knives a day. Most of the time, I carry a slip joint in my left back pocket sort of carry. I have like a side iPhone mag pocket. That's where the slip joint goes. And then I'll either carry, like in this case, it's a lefty knife, so it'll carry in my front left pocket. If it's a righty knife, I'll carry it in my back left pocket or in that mag pocket, and then this will go up front, whatever, right? But I carry 2 knives a day, one of which is usually a slip joint. So that kind of eliminates a knife sometimes if it's not a Jack Wolf situation, because a lot of times I'm reviewing one of those. Then I'm just carrying one of my Jack Wolfs because I want to, right? Which is an exception to what I'm talking about here. And I don't know why. I honestly don't have an answer for that. But it is what it is. So sometimes I have 2 knives on me. And a lot of times both of those knives are review knives. A Jack Wolf that's in before the drop. Another slip joint that I have in. Or sometimes I just carry a lefty and a righty knife. Frame lock, whatever. They're not always a slip joint. But a lot of times it is. So the knives in my pockets are usually the ones being reviewed, tested, whatever. Maybe it's one of my own prototypes for Divo knives, right? I have times where I get a few different prototypes in at a time, or we just had a drop of something and I'm going to carry the knife to kind of test it or just enjoy it, right? And it has to keep rotating. And I don't have much time to carry my own stuff. Right? I try to make time. So like right now, I don't have a bunch of stuff in that I need to review. It's stuff like I have the Micro Strike in from Urban EDC. This was loaned in because they're doing a drop. I've already reviewed the prototype. I kind of just got this in so I could help promote their drop, help promote my link, shilling. So I don't need to carry that or whatever. And then I have these dumb single action OTFs in right now that I got just to do a stupid video that didn't really work out too well. And that's it. Like, luckily right now I'm kind of like all the stuff is sent out. Normally I have like 5 or 6 or more knives in on loan or that I bought that I need to review or whatever. But it's, I do have the Mirage from Winterblade. So this is a knife I need to carry to do an overview on, right? Or a review on, depends on how much I carry it. But it's not my knife, so it's probably going to be an overview. So this needs to get in my pocket. Well, how do I do that? Well, this or this has to come out of my pocket now, right? And like I said, usually I have 5, 6, 7, 8 knives that I have to do that with. And I have to rotate carrying them. I have to figure out when to film this and do that. And it's, it sounds like a lot of work, but it's fun. Like, I enjoy it. It's part of the process for me. I like the new stuff coming in. So, that's kind of an explanation of the circle of knife. I just can't carry my own knife. I can, right? It's not like I physically can't. It's that I don't want to because I want to review the next thing. And even though I think this knife is one of the best knives to come out in a long time because I'm left-handed and the knife is legitimately fantastic on top of that, which is ultra rare to get a lefty knife and it be good. Like literally one of my favorite knives, It's so good that I actually bought 2. Which is another thing. I'm dumb because I do that, and then I don't even carry any of them. But I have 2. So, for the last day or so, I've been able to carry whatever I want, because this came in last night, and I just haven't had a bunch of stuff come in, right? It's all in the mail. But now, I need to make room for this guy. So, tomorrow, what am I going to do? Well, I might carry this again, and then put this in my back left pocket. That's what I might do, right? Or I might put this away and then just carry a slip joint and this, right? That's more likely what I'll do because I just like having a slip joint on me. I love having the slip. I've noticed significant differences in what people think when I take out this knife. People are more likely to say, hey, can I borrow your knife to cut this or do this when I have one of these on me, or when they see it on the desk or in my hand. Like, my wife will just ask me, like, hey, can I have your knife? You know? But if I have something like this, she's probably not going to ask, because she's probably worried she doesn't know how to use it, or, or it just looks intimidating or something, So I tend to always have a slip joint on me. Also, I'm just super hype on slip joints right now. I can't explain why. I just am. And so I want to carry one. So this is probably going to be my carry tomorrow. Hence, this goes away. And now I have 2 of them. And more stuff's going to come in. And I'm not going to carry these. And they're just going to sit there. And even though they are at the top of my list of what I love in my collection right now, I will ultimately end up probably selling one, maybe both at some point, right? I'll hang on as long as I can, but I'll get to next month and realize, shit, I haven't carried one of those in a month, and I just bought X, 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 and X, and it would be nice to, fluff the bank account back up a little bit, so let me sell these. And that's just what happens to me. And it has nothing to do with the fact that those knives are not phenomenal, right? It's more to do with the fact that I'm an addict, and I'm like, this is just a fact. If you look around the knife community, you will find addicts, and we find each other, right? I know I could list off, I'm not going to, but I could list off 10 guys right now that I've talked to in the community that I'm good friends with that have some kind of background in addiction, right? And so we just apply things, right? So we quit doing dumb shit, and we now have a cool, fun hobby where we have like good friends, we have supportive people, all of that. But we still have the addiction aspect. And that's why you'll see people who come into the hobby and they buy up all this shit and then they like disappear because like they literally just spent all their money and like just went overboard, and somebody probably slapped them on the wrist and said, dude, chill. And they're like, no, I gotta quit. And they quit the knife game because they're an addict. Like, just spitting facts here, guys. I know that it's going to be touchy for some people, but I'm one of them. You know what I mean? I know the feeling. I've tried to apply it productively, right? Make a YouTube channel that, I can support now, right? Like, the money coming in is supporting what I'm doing. I'm not losing money anymore. I might be making, like, this much for the amount of work I do. I started a knife company to try to put my brain power of just being all knife into that, right? So you'll see dudes just like me who have the addiction and they try to apply it productively somehow, right? Anyway, my point with that part is the addiction is even though that knife is top 5, I'd rather check out this one because it's new and it's different and I haven't handled it before, right? That's just my personality with this. So something new and different to me is going to take the place of something old but fantastic, where other people, some of you watching, you have knives that you think are the shit, and those are the knives you carry, and it's hard for another knife to get into that rotation, right? It's the opposite. You've dialed it in, and you're like, that knife is not even, like, I'm not going to carry that because it's not as good as this, so I'm not even going to bother, right? But some of us do the opposite. We try all 8,000 knives, and we'd rather carry the next new thing than the old awesome thing. So hopefully that explains it to you guys. That's why I call it the circle of knife, because it's a constant cycle. New knives coming in, old knives coming out. And yes, there's exceptions. The F5.5, the Evo here. Those two have been around in my collection for a long time. All the Jack Wolves. But it's rare. For the most part, 99% of the knives I get in get sold. They get moved along in some way because it helps me keep things going and because I'm always chasing the next thing. And I'd rather sell that, get the money back to buy the next new thing, even if the next new thing isn't as good as the thing I just sold. It's not the best logic. It's just the truth. Okay? So hopefully some of you are like, yeah, that's exactly how I am, right? And some of you are like, dude, you're an idiot. Okay. But, you know, I'm my own idiot. And, you know, another reason that I sell things is because I'm not made of money, right? I'm not rich. I don't have endless supplies of money to buy knives. You know, I've kind of built up a good reserve by having a collection, and now I sell shit, I rotate shit, channel money, you know, that stuff comes in, and I can use all that to fund stuff, but I still have like a budget, so to speak. But I'm not one of those people that like collects to collect. Like, I don't have every knife I buy or hunt down, I don't just keep, right? So there's people like that who, you know, they're kind of the hoarders of the knife world, instead of being like me where everything's rotating, because I feel weird having more than like 30 knives, because I'm like, I'm never going to carry these. It's just money sitting over there to me. But some people have 200. They buy a knife, they have a budget, and they buy a knife and it stays, right? And that's a different type of process. That's not how my process is. Mine's an ever-evolving cycle. And the knives are in and out. The circle of knife, guys. I have explained myself to death, and I apologize for that. So hopefully that explains. I just wanted to put that out there. And if I say that, that's what I'm talking about. So now I can point people to this video. That was my goal with this, is now I can say it's the circle of knife, and then send you this video. You can watch this and go, oh, that's what he meant. When you come and ask me, well, I thought you loved it. Like, why are you selling it? Boom. Circle of knife video. All right. I hope that helps. I love you guys. I appreciate all of your support. The channel has been growing a lot lately. It does look like it's starting to slow down a little bit. Whatever wave we hit is crashing, but that's fine. You know, we rode it as long as we could, and I truly appreciate you guys. Everybody who's a member, thank you so much. Patreon guys, thank you so much. Anybody who just subscribes, hits the like button, all that stuff. Definitely subscribe if you're not. Double check if you are. Check notifications. YouTube's been wonky lately, I hear, so double check all that. I appreciate everything you guys do for the channel, so thank you, and I love you all. I hope you have an absolutely fantastic day, and I will catch you later.